Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, May the 31st. Today would have been the 40th day of my water fast. However, on Friday, late afternoon, early evening, I sampled some of my bone broth and ate a little piece of chicken that was in the fridge. And then I went to bed. And I felt good. I felt really good. And I even felt a little bit full, and it wasn't very much. But then I contemplated whether my fast was ended or not, and how I could frame it. I just want to be honest about everything I'm doing. And sometimes when you're living an experience like this in public view, you're concerned about the language you use because you don't want to be deceitful. So I was kind of thinking, is my fast ended? Is it not ended? Well, it's technically ended, but then again, this wasn't a clean fast because I'm using cream in my coffee every morning anyway, so what the heck is a half a cup of bone broth? It didn't matter because a little bit later, I woke up and I went back into the kitchen to check on my bone broth. You know, I've been cooking that bone broth for 2 days basically. And so I had more bone broth. I had another piece of chicken. This was grilled chicken that was just sitting in the fridge, just prime and ready for the picking. I decided I had ended my fast. I was doing a refeed. And you know, from a textbook perspective, my refeed was a mess. My refeed was a mess compared to anything I would recommend anybody to do. But you know what? I'm going to rethink that whole thing because advice needs to be practical and realistic. And I wanted to break this fast for the last number of days, and perhaps I should have. And I was planning to break it, and I knew how I wanted to do it, but it just seemed like I pushed past a certain point, and then when I broke, there was too much pressure. So when I went back into the kitchen, it was like the dams had burst, and my refeeding wasn't as controlled as it needed to be in volume or content. So where was I? I had some bone broth, I had some chicken, and then I had a small handful of corn chips or tortillas or whatever they're called, little rounds for dipping into salsa. Not a lot, nothing crazy. And then I ended up eating a schnitzel that was in the fridge. And then I had some sauerkraut. And then I had a couple of spoonfuls of peanut butter. And then I had a banana. And that was about the extent of that. But that was all Friday evening or into Saturday morning. Now, it wasn't even really a refeed. It was a refeed, but it wasn't any different than kind of a a normal eating day. There was no real special foods. There was no real special controls. And I'm not going to say that everybody can do that, but I can do that. My body has responded so well. I didn't have any digestive problems. I've had no gas, no burping or farting, no explosive trips to the bathroom, no stomach aches, no bloating, no acid reflux. So what did I do? I went like 38 days without food and then just ate. Just ate food. Good food, not like junk food and not a great big plate of French fries or steak and potatoes or anything, but not entirely keto. So that was Friday night. Saturday, yesterday, wow, you can barely see me for that sun. So yesterday I surprised my family by coming outside and having a bowl of food in my hand, and it was some sardines, which I had planned, and some of my radish kimchi that I paired it with, and I was eating that. And then later I ate some bone broth that I supercharged with spinach and zoodles and some green onions, and I put some butter in it, and I had taken some bacon and hamburger that I had cooked before and portioned that and put that in the freezer. All of those items I was able to just gather from the freezer, boil up that bone broth, and I would have liked to have added a little bit of heavy whipped cream to it to make it like a cream of soup, but I didn't have enough, and I wanted to save some for my coffee this morning. There was some of those tortilla chips again, and a cream cheese dip with some cheddar on top and maybe some salsa that someone had put out, and I had a wee bit of that. I have no real idea how many calories I consumed. It just, after you don't eat for so long, it just seems like perhaps it's too much, but I don't think it was. So after my refeed on Friday, Saturday morning, I weighed 3 pounds more at 202. And this morning, I weighed 207 pounds. 8 pounds more than my lowest, which is just shit. It's just shit. But I fixed my sleeping today. Like 12 hours. Saturday, I got up at 4 p.m. and this morning I got up at 4 a.m. So that's another part of it, because it's almost kind of like weighing before you go to sleep. You know, most often when I'm fasting, if I weigh myself before I go to sleep, I could be 3 or 4 pounds more than I'm going to be in the morning. So I'm not quite sure what that is, but I do know that from Friday night to Saturday morning, I couldn't have gained 8 pounds of fat. It's impossible. So the scale is just a one way to measure progress. It's one marker, but there's lots of other markers. So I know that my body's holding a lot more water. It's not even inflammation. It's just water retention. It's normal. When you're fasting, you purge a lot of that, and when you're eating, you take a lot of that on. And if you're in ketosis, you expel more water. And right now, I haven't even tested to see if I am or not. But I'll tell you, after fasting that long, even if you eat carbs, it doesn't take long to restore that status if you've lost it. So anyway, what am I saying? I do know that I'm holding a lot more water simply just by the fact that I don't pee. I've hardly peed at all. And I'm drinking a lot of water, and I've been adding lemon to my water. So, guess where I am right now? I'm in the parking lot of the grocery store because today is going to be my first day of my keto OMAD. Now, it's already not textbook. It's not ideal because I got up so early. I had my coffee with heavy whipped cream, and I had some cheddar and a boiled egg already like 5 a.m. and now it's pretty much 8 a.m. So normally I want to have a very controlled feed that I've measured and calculated as far as what I want for my caloric intake, and I can lay it out and I can say this is mine for the day, and I can eat it and I can be done with it. A good weight loss and maintenance protocol is one that you can quantify how much you eat, and you have a way of recording that. So after I saw the number 207 on the scale this morning, which, terrified me, I opened up MyFitnessPal and I input what I already ate today and decided I'm going to have to be tracking that very carefully. And I looked at the amount of calories that I need based on my weight right now to just maintain, and then set it up so just for a very slight loss, like half a pound a week. And it looks to me like I'm around 1,950 calories per day. And then I input about 75% fat, 25% protein. It's not quite right because I have about 5% carbs in there, which is the lowest I could put. And then it sets it up by grams. Anyway, I'm just going to be very high fat, low carb, and protein. And so I'm at the grocery store now to get a few things so that I can lay out my food for the rest of the day and also prep for the next couple days. I feel really good. I had been feeling weak. I knew I should eat. I probably should have, but I wanted to accomplish a little bit more. I probably should have when I felt like I needed to eat. I kind of knew. It's important to listen to your body and be true to it. So just by eating for the last day and a half, I just feel already quite fortified, very good. I think I look good for an old guy, and I feel great, and I'm really happy about that because I'm going to work for my niece tomorrow, and she's really relying on that, and I wasn't sure how productive I was going to be the way I was feeling, so it's time to be more productive. And I've got the rest of the summer to carry on with my keto OMAD. I think I've reported everything, wrapped you guys up or caught you guys up, and I'm not sure how often I'm going to be reporting after today, but on the tail end of this video I will take some photos of my feeding today So happy Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here. And as always, love yourself, stay safe, be awesome. Look at this King's Feast! Huh. What was it? 1.76 kilos. There is no way I'm going to eat all of this. What? This is my second morning of my refeed. But look at that. That's food art right there. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, that's a lot of salt. Want some?
Want some?
Yeah. Want some?